Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. So my Glock 42 recently had a problem. After, I don't know, it's probably been close to 10,000 rounds I put through this. I decided that I needed to clean this striker because I was having light primer strikes occasionally. And that whole striker thing, I figured out how to get that out of there, and it was caked with dirt. I cleaned it out, made it all nice and clean. No light primer strikes now. But I had a problem because I had taken the trigger out and decided to clean off all of these pieces down in here in the polymer frame, which I had never done in any Glock. So I had to remove this pin right here, and there's also another pin. I have the Hogue hand grip on here, but you have to peel down this hand grip, and there's a little plasticky pin right back here that you have to take out. That one's real easy, but this one just wouldn't come out. So I put it on my block. I have a special block that you set guns on to drive pins out of. And I used my hammer and my punch, and I said boom, 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 and it came out. And I was like, sweet, came out, and I put it back in. And what I did when I did that is I bent the slide release or slide lock. It's not this part right here that actually locks the slide on that you have to pull these two down to take the gun down. It's this part back here that locks the slide. I bent that. And the gun would no longer, well, it would sometimes lock back with an empty mag, but sometimes it wouldn't. And of course, when I was practicing with my dummy rounds and stuff, it would not lock the slide open. But I take it to the gun store to have them look at it, and it starts locking the slide open every time. And they looked at it once, and then they said that it locked open for them, and I asked them to look at it again because it was intermittent. They did, and then they discovered that that slide release was bent over by this pin. So what I found out is you're actually supposed to push on this pin gently with a tool, like a punch, and then move the little slide release up and down on that little spring, and it'll jiggle free, and that pin will just like push right out. You're not supposed to beat on it with the hammer. So I bent the slide release. So they straightened the slide release in like a special vise and got it straight and got it working again just fine with the factory mags that that slide release catches on the edge of it right here, and that locks the slide open on an empty mag. But on my regular carry magazine, which I have the mag guts slide or mag guts mag parts in there so that this will hold one extra round. And it's been reliable, but it was not locking open on this one still. So that was a problem because I like my mag, I like having my extra round. So I went ahead and I bought an extended slide release online, and I put that in, and it's fixed that problem. So this gun will now lock open properly on this Mag Guts extension magazine if it's empty. Alright, so I'm very happy with that, and it also locks open on an empty mag with the factory magazines just fine. So I'm happy that that's fixed. This is bigger now, so I can push down on it and release the slide. I don't normally do that. I normally just use my other hand and come down there like that. But if you have to shoot one-handed or something, that can come in handy, and it is really handy because it just sticks out a little farther than the factory one. It's handy for when you need to lock that slide open. You can get a much better grip on it. So I actually really like that upgrade. So I have the Hogue grip on here, the extended slide release. I have the TLR9 or TLR6 light. And that's a pretty bright light in the dark. It's bright enough so that before I go to take that final shot in the dark because someone broke in my house or something, I can turn that light on and be like, oh, that's just my drunk neighbor who came in the wrong window or something. I can stop before I make a tragic mistake. I can see what I'm shooting at. I can see that it's my son who snuck out late with his friends and got drunk and decided to climb in a window, right? Before I actually take the shot, I can light it up and look. So I think having some kind of a little light on your gun is important. I carry this gun normally in a pocket holster. This is a Tagua. I took the little stitching out of that so that it'll fit down in there with a light, right? And like that, and it completely covers the trigger real nice, right? Because I carry it with 1 in the chamber. So 7 plus 1 in the chamber, it gives me 8 rounds. And then I carry it with this. It's just hooked on my pants so that if I pull this out of my pocket and it doesn't come clear of the holster by itself, it will with the string come clear, right? That's just the system that I've worked out. I've looked, I don't make these Tagua holsters anymore, but you can come up with some kind of a similar holster to this to carry it. It's really hard to find a good outside the waistband or inside the waistband holster that's molded to this gun with the TLR6 on it. It's just hard. I'm sure you could go to like the gun show where they custom make some holsters and have them custom make one for this. But I actually kind of like this really well. But yeah, this is back to being a really reliable, good shooting gun again. So I'm happy about that. I actually do like the mag, the extended slide stop there. So it works. The other thing I'll go over real quick is a shooting tip. Let me make sure she's unloaded. She is. Okay, when you're taking those long shots especially, and you want to make an accurate shot and you want to make a rapid follow-up shot. Okay, so you're going boom, 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 like that, right? You need to learn to pull your trigger so that you boom, and then you hold it back. And why do you hold it back? Because you have a third grip on that gun to bring it back under control. It's going to recoil. You're going to get it back under control and get the sights lined up quicker with that finger down. And then you're just going, it's going to cycle, right? You're going boom. And then you're going to just let forward on the trigger just a little bit. Like right there. And then boom again, right? And then it's going to cycle, recoil. You're going to have that extra finger for grip on the gun to bring it back down. You want to make sure that you hold your gun up high, right? You don't want to hold with a grip like that. You want your web of your hand to be clear up there, right? And then you want to boom, and then it's going to cycle, right? It's going to be ready to go again, and then when you're ready to take that next shot, you just let off, boom, right? That quick. It cycles, you let off, boom. It makes it so that you don't have a tendency for your finger to wobble all over the place. Once you find that good spot on the trigger, it stays in that spot, so you're not getting all that extra movement in the sight picture. You're just boom, cycle, boom, right? And you can keep that gun pretty darn steady and really make those rapid follow-up shots faster. You see a lot of new shooters are like boom, 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 boom. And that's just not a good recipe for making follow-up shots accurately with more speed. Because the faster that you allow that recoil to happen, like, and get back on target, alright, and getting that back on target means having a firm grip on the gun. Having your finger back there helps that get a firmer grip, and then you can just let off and gently squeeze back again. That's just a trick that I've learned. I don't know. Nobody's ever trained me that or taught me that, or professional trainers. But that's how I do it, especially with this Glock. And it just makes my shooting go a lot smoother. So that's a little tip. My little tip on a Sunday. But I'm glad to have this gun back in action and going. You know, I've shot this gun a lot. Yes, it's a 380, but I can make accurate shots. I can kill somebody at 50 yards with this gun if I have to. And you say like, oh, you're never going to need to shoot that far. Why do you practice killing people at 50 yards? You should be running the other direction. If it's just you, right? And you have a chance to get away. What if you're in a situation where there is a mass shooter who's killing people in a mall, and maybe your family's out there standing in a food line, and you have to take that shot at 40 or 50 yards? You want to be able to make that shot. And that happened at a mall in Indiana. And a guy that was 23 I think, and maybe he was 21. I don't even remember. His name was Eli. He shot the guy with the AR-15 from like 40 or 50 yards away and landed the shots and took him down. So yeah, you need to practice those long distance shots. Now, when you're shooting long distances, you really have to, a lot of times, find a little trash can or something. You know, you're going to prop your gun up on it, you know, get some support. You're going to line those sights up perfect. You're going to go slow with that trigger. But you're going to be able to land a shot. And I can land it, and I'm partially blind in one eye. I'm partially blind in both eyes, but really partially blind in one eye. I have diabetic retinopathy. I have macular degeneration. I have macular edema. And have two very severe astigmatisms. I wear bifocals. I don't see well, but I can make a shot at 50 yards, a kill shot. And when you're looking at a shot that's 50 yards away, it's smaller than your sight picture is. So you're kind of guessing where that shot's going to land on that target. But you can't do it even with a gun like this. Although a bigger gun will do a better job typically. But so my last video where I was practicing and people are asking like, why do you want to practice that far away? Because I was doing a half-size target at 25 yards, which equals 50 yards, because it's half size. And people are like, why do you want to shoot that far away? Why are you practicing that? Well, that's why. Because you don't know. I mean, ideally, if you do ever have to use your gun, you're going to pull it and they're going to be like, and run away, and you're not going to have to kill them. Or you're going to shoot them once or twice, and it's probably going to be up close and personal. But there are situations you might get into that you have to engage that target at long distance, and it's the only chance for you to save your life, your family's life, or just the lives of innocent people sitting there eating their pizza, right? So that's why I practice those kinds of shots. And I'm not perfect. I'm not a great super shot. I'm better than a lot of people I see coming into the range and teacupping their grip and wobbling their gun all over, you know. But I've done a lot of practice and training, but I'm not the greatest shot there is out there by any means. There are people who can shoot way better than me, but I just try to practice and stay up to where I can make those difficult shots if I have to. It might take me a little longer, but I hopefully can get the job done. Anyway, that's what I carry, my Glock 42. And yeah, I know 380 isn't the best caliber, but man, is it manageable. I mean, it's manageable for rapid fire follow-up shots. This Glock 42 is just small enough to pocket carry and conceal well, and it's just big enough to get a good full-size grip on and shoot it well. It's the perfect gun for me. It really is for concealed carry. Yes, I carry a revolver sometimes. I carry a different gun sometimes, but normally this is my go-to for concealed carry. So, just a thought. It's different for everybody. It's a personal choice, right? But I think this Glock 42 is about perfect. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tom, your Frugal Prepper.